I think Trump has always intended to go through with this. In fact, grab audio soundbite number 1. I want to take you back to May 3rd. This is the 28th, so 25 days, so basically 3.5 weeks ago. It didn't get a lot of publicity, but one of the president's lawyers, Emmett Flood, sent a letter to William Barr, the Attorney General. And this letter was, I think, the opening salvo in the White House going to war against the people who ran this coup against him. And I just want to refresh your memory. I'm not going to read the whole letter again, but I want to refresh your memory on some of what I said back on May 3rd on this program. This letter from Emmett Flood to William Barr indicates that Trump is on the warpath. And I had that really confirmed for me last night when I saw Trump being interviewed by Catherine Herridge at Fox News, in which he said he's very close to declassifying everything having to do with the FISA warrant applications, and that he's held back. He's held back because he wanted all of this to settle. They aren't going to be able to spin their way out of this. When any president uses the bully pulpit to put a story out, and if he has good people, like Emmett Flood and like William Barr, and if you got pit bulls like Rudy Giuliani to go out there and tell the story and at the same time declassify all the stuff that they have been petrified was going to be declassified. There isn't anybody that can compete with it. Jerry Nadler is going to be so outmatched. Pencil Neck is going to be outmatched. Pelosi is going to be outmatched. Chuck Hughes, Schumer, and Feinstein are going to be outmatched. This is why they have been literally scared to death Trump is going to do this, because once this starts and once the public reveal begins, there isn't any way to beat it back. There isn't any way to control. Well, I mean, there are ways, but it's just really tough to compete against a fortified, coordinated operation that comes from the executive branch, from the White House, the bully pulpit. Even when you have a media that is doing its best to thwart everything that Trump is trying to do, this is going to be tough for them to stop. And, Lindsey Graham was on Fox News Sunday yesterday, and we've got the audio of this, but before we go to the break, I just want to give you an upshot of what he said. He said that the former government officials opposing this declassification are worried about being exposed. Now, do you find it curious that there isn't anybody on the left, there isn't anybody on the media who wants to actually find out what happened here? Just as, isn't it fascinating that not a single journalist in that town, not a one, and there must be hundreds of them that were on this story, not one of them actually sought to find out and report what was really going on. Not a single journalist sought to make a name for him or herself. Not a single journalist decide to make one of the greatest career advancement moves he or she could make. Instead, they all backed down and were complicit in this. By the same token, now that documents that contain answers to questions that a lot of people have had are on the verge of being declassified, there isn't a single person in the media Democrat complex that seems the slightest bit interested in knowing the truth. Is that not odd? Journalism used to be a business that was devoted to keeping government power in check, making the comfortable afflicted, speaking truth to power, all those crazy cliches. But now they have become totally complicit. Now, we all know why everybody hates Trump, and the reasons for that are many and varied. But I find it fascinating that on the verge of declassification, everybody is scared to death and don't think it should happen and don't want it to. Not one person saw this story for what it was and tried to get to the truth of it, become this era's Woodward or Bernstein. Not one person even now is interested in finding out what actually happened. Well, we know they know, I know, but there's a career or two waiting to be made. There are gazillions of dollars to be made writing a book about, but not one shred of interest on the part of anybody. It's just fascinating to me.
Rush Limbaugh, your treasure map to the truth on the EIB Network.